So just a quick start guide on a skiving machine. So if you've got a Consew DCS S4 like this, or any number of different names, might be the same operation to it, almost identical. So we'll just take you through some of the common starting fumbles that people get into when they're first getting a machine or just getting used to their machine. And it's really easy to operate, and once you get dialed in, boy, this is a satisfying machine to use, but it can be frustrating if you don't know what all the knobs and levers do. So just on the very surface level, let's check out a quick guide and get you going on your skiver. So a bell skiver is a pretty simple mechanical machine, although it does have a lot of adjustment, and once you get to know it, it's actually a real benefit because you can dial it in precisely how you want it to work. But when you're new at it, wow, it can be overwhelming, all the different controls and settings that you have. So there's just a couple of them that you want to pay attention to initially. After you use it for a year or more, you might need some of the more advanced settings, but I tell you what, just getting into it, it's pretty simple to learn the basics. And we won't worry about any of the controls on the front of the machine for now. This is just a clutch that turns on your grinding wheel and the knob that helps to advance it for sharpening up your bell knife. This is actually a knob that advances the whole bell knife from right to left, and you won't do that unless you've sharpened it many times, so no concern there. This knob actually secures a splitter very close to the bell knife to eject the waste down below the machine, so no adjustment needed there as well. To begin to understand how your machine works, just take this spring-loaded mechanism and put it on the sidewall of the machine there. It kind of makes it inactive, and then you can articulate this whole assembly. And as you'll do that, you see this kind of egg-shaped feed wheel move either closer to or further away from that bell knife. And that spring-loaded mechanism is very important, so when you're using it, make sure it's engaged. Lately, I've been using that on about the third notch from the end here, and that gives me a nice amount of pressure where it's not likely to deflect in regular use. That feed wheel can also move this way, and it needs to stay concentric with the knife, so assuming that adjustment is already made from the factory, you don't have to mess too much with this knob. This one is just the spring tension for that action, and I like to keep it all the way cranked down. If you like today's topic, give me a quick thumbs up. Otherwise, if you like all my videos, nobody does, you can subscribe to the channel or drop down in the description box. You'll have all my links and video resources for you there. Try to compile everything in a way that's easy to find. This knob on the back just controls the angle of the presser foot, and you just want to make that concentric with the knife, but that tends to be kind of a set it and forget it thing, so you won't adjust this very often at all. Okay, so if it feels like I've only told you what knobs not to touch, well, that's basically where we started, but let's quickly get into which ones you're commonly going to use every day on this skiver. This is one of the important adjustment knobs. There's a little locking knob here. You loosen that, and then you can make adjustments to this knob, and that controls the depth of cut basically, or how far that feed wheel moves away from the bell knife. The second area for common adjustments is up by your presser foot lift, so you'll drop that down to make a cut, and this is the adjustment knob that controls the pressure, how much pressure that's putting on your leather, and if you have that set right, it'll feel like it's driving it automatically. So if you feel like you're having to do all the work and really pull or force the leather through, try turning this knob clockwise for more downward pressure. I've heard people say that you can't skive veg-tanned leather with a skiving machine like this, and that's certainly not true. It works fine. You do have to have a sharp knife and you have to have your settings right, but let's just take a look and see how close we are to the right settings for this thick leather. Okay, so we got a nice clean skive on the back, and I felt like I wasn't working at all to pull that through. It just felt like it was feeding more or less automatically, and I was just steering it. The one big problem you'll have with a standard presser foot on veg-tan leather is it will mark the face of it. Now, half of this is from masking tape that I use to hold this down on my laser engraver, but this track mark is actually from the skiving machine. So to avoid that, you'll have to switch over to a roller foot on your machine if you do a lot of veg tan. And this is the sort of shaving you'll have coming off your machine. This has a nice uniform thickness, so I can tell my blade is nice and sharp. Of course, there'll be a little corner that doesn't get skived if you just do one pass, but oftentimes you're skiving all edges, and so that little corner will naturally be taken care of. So let's try a different piece of leather. This is still thicker than upholstery leather, but it's a little bit thinner than that last piece I showed, the brown one. Of course, you raise your presser foot up to get the workpiece in, and then you drop your presser foot back down, and that's where you can start it. We'll just see how close we are on our settings. So this one I feel it's slipping a little bit because it's thinner, and so I wasn't getting as much help to pull that through. I helped it along a little bit, although we did get a clean skive. So what you want to do in that situation is just turn that knob clockwise on top to increase the downward pressure. And this is kind of like the tension knob on your sewing machine, quarter turn or half turn at a time, and retest that. And we'll try the other side of that same strip of leather. And that feeds almost automatically. Nice clean skive on that. So really the difference between a cut I was happy with and one that I had to pull through on my own was a little over a quarter turn on that presser foot knob. So just small adjustments is all you need to do. But much more commonly, I'm using this upholstery weight leather. This is about 3-ounce leather. It's very soft and chrome tanned, and this skives beautifully as well, but it needs a different setting than a thick piece of veg tan leather. So just for laughs, let's put it through with the settings unchanged and see what sort of problems we encounter. So it is helping me feed a little bit, but I have that drive wheel set pretty far from the knife, so we actually did get a skive, so I'm impressed with that. I think I'll make a couple of setting changes and get that dialed in. Okay, let's move that guide finger out of the way, and I'll show you the main settings that I'm looking at. Number one is I want to control this depth of cut here between the drive wheel and the blade. That I think is a little too thick because I had it set up for my thicker leather pieces, and so just adjust this knob and you can see that setting change. I'll back it out counterclockwise until it's about a 1/2 millimeter space between the drive wheel and the knife, and we'll lock in that knob. I also know from trial and error that I'll probably need a little more downward pressure on that foot. So just another test piece here with my foot lifted. I'll go ahead and drop that down, and you get a clue as to how close your settings are. If you can just freely pull this through, you know it's not going to make a good cut and fully assist you. But let's back that off a little bit and I'll show you what I mean. If I can pull that through too easily, it just means I'm not going to get enough help. That will do almost nothing. I know my presser foot is too high. Let's drop it down a little bit incrementally. You should be able to overcome the resistance, but it should be a pull. And when it's set like that, you know you'll get good help feeding it through. So you drop it down and then you push the treadle pedal. Now that was a pretty light skive, but it was consistent. I've taken away about half the thickness of this 3-ounce material, and that's usually what I'm going for. So let's just keep going around the edges and see what it looks like. And I typically have this guide finger set about 3/4 of an inch back, and what I'm going for is about a 5/8 inch skive. So you can see here on the corner it removed all the material nicely on the corner. So let's keep going. We'll do another pass. Set it under the foot, drop your foot down and grab hold of it, but you're not really pulling too much. The machine's doing most of the work. Drop it down, grab that corner, and away you go. Okay, so that looks really good. I'm happy with those settings, but really it's just two that we adjusted primarily. The downward pressure on the foot, and then that depth of cut setting over on the left side of the machine. You can skive curved pieces as well, although you might want to slow down your feed rate, but most of these skivers do have variable speed servos, so it's not too hard to do. Yeah, we actually did fairly good on that, so let's carry around with it. Straight cut on this side. But it's really nothing to worry about. If you don't skive all the way to the corner on the first pass, you'll get it on the next one. So So the model number again on this one, guys, it's a Consew DCS S4. It's their primary skiving machine. I've been getting great results with it, and it's not something I've been able to duplicate with the hand skiver. Hey, if you can do it, hats off to you. There's a lot of great leather workers out there, but for me, I just need a machine that makes it quick and easy with simple adjustments. So if you're looking for a skiver, I'll link this one down in the description. It's really good. And the servo motors that are run with skivers are really basic. They're just an analog servo motor. They're nice and quiet, variable speed, but otherwise nothing special about them. You can get one from Consew, or sometimes they're branded Eagle, but I find them just about interchangeable. They've got a dial to adjust the speed on the motor, and then the treadle pedal is actually variable speed as well, so really easy to control. And pretty soon you'll start to see the waste shavings just kind of falling at your feet. I'm going to try to come up with a little side chute that will discharge the shavings into a waste bin, but that's a future project that I've yet to work on. So in the meantime, messy floor. What's cool is when you're actually working on a project, you'll just make those couple settings once, and then you can just kind of do all your project pieces and really no additional adjustments needed. And I'm really not pulling at all. The machine is doing the work on that. That's how I like to set it up. I've heard some people say that you have to do all the pulling work, and I think it's just the way that you set that drive wheel. So even for leather upholstery projects, this machine is great. I love using it. It's nice and quiet. It feeds perfectly. Just keep your blade sharp and it's good to go. So hopefully a tip or two here will quickly get you going on your skiving machine. If you haven't purchased one yet, you can drop down to the description. There I'll have links to my favorite machines and what servo motors I recommend for these sort of skivers. Now I got to come up with something on that debris chute.